Hey guys, so I'm getting ready to can some salsa. I'll show you the recipe here in a minute, but I've just been kind of trying to get like the prep work ready before I started filming. So the recipe that I'm doing is out of the home preservation book. I'll show you that here in a second. But what I've got in here is a cup of apple cider vinegar, a tablespoon of chopped garlic, and a cup and a half of onions, which I used just kind of a variety of onions for what we had. I've got 10 cups excuse me, of tomatoes. These are the ones that I froze and then de-skinned. I've just been kind of emptying the juice every now and then because as they're thawing, they're juicing everywhere. And then I'm working on my peppers right now. I gotta have 2 cups of those. So once I get this done and added in, I'll be right back with you. Okay guys, so I got the tomatoes and the peppers added in. So I gotta let those cook for a little bit. And this is the recipe I'm using. It's from this book. And it's right at the beginning of the book. Here, let me, page saved there. So now I just got to get my spices all together. So I've stirred in the tomatoes and the peppers, so I gotta bring it back to a boil and cook for 3 minutes, and then I've got to add in all the spices. It says hot pepper sauce, but I was lazy and didn't take the seeds out, so I may not worry about the hot pepper sauce or not put as much in since I left all the seeds in the peppers. And especially since some of them are a little bit hotter peppers too. So I may just leave that part out. So, but I've got this going. So I'm going to get my spices together and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so this is boiling. It's supposed to boil for like 3 minutes. So while that got up to boiling, I got my herbs ready. So it called for a cup of loosely packed cilantro or parsley. Well, what I had was already dried, so I did half of that. So I just did a half a cup, and I mixed it because I didn't have enough cilantro. So, and I didn't quite have enough parsley, but together I had enough. And then a tablespoon of dried oregano, tablespoon of sugar. I didn't put in the hot sauce, and then 1.5 teaspoon of cumin and 1.5 teaspoon of salt. So I've just got all that in there. So I think this is supposed to go until the peppers are tender, which they are not yet. So I'm going to let this go a little longer, and then I'll get the seasonings put in, and then we'll go from there. So I'll be right back. Okay guys, so got this boiling, so I'm going to go ahead and get all the spices poured in. And I wasn't too worried about like my dried herbs from the garden being all big and chunky, because I'm just gonna lightly run the immersion blender through, because my husband doesn't really like super chunky salsa. Sorry, I'm like trying to look at this through my phone, and it's not as easy. So I'm gonna grab that real quick. I've got it under here because I've been doing Slim Fast shakes, and I use the little blender stick on it to do. Kitchen's a mess. To do the powdered shakes. Let's see, which one's this one? That one will be good. Oh, see? Yep. See, that's what I make my Slim Fast shakes in. Okay, let me pause this real quick so I can put this together. It's hard to do one-handed. Okay, guys, so got my see, I'm not doing much. I'm just pulsing it. Just enough so it's not too chunky. So that should be... Yeah, that looks a little bit better. Okay, so got the spices added in. So for another 3 to 5 minutes, and then I'll start doing the jars. So once I get the jars filled, I'll show you how much I get. This recipe says it does 9 of the half-pint jars. So I'll bring you guys back for that. Okay guys, so I'm just on the last 3 jars. So far I've gotten 7 in there. So we'll see if we can get 10. Might be able to, I don't know. It calls for 9, so we should get 9. And it called for, I believe, a 1/2 inch, but I've been giving it, you know, not quite an inch, but a little more than a 1/2 inch. And that's just because I don't want, I'm sure the tomatoes will juice some more. So I've got to turn my pan here to try to get the rest out of here. So I'll show you when I get these done. And of course, I'm going to wipe the rims, fingertip tight, and I'll bring you right back. Okay guys, so I ended up getting 10 in there. So I'm going to set my timer for 15 minutes. It's back up to a rolling boil. So I'll bring you back when that's done. Okay guys, so these processed for the 15 minutes, and then I turned it off and I let them set for another 5 minutes. So, oh, I got these crammed in there. Okay. Oh my goodness, there we go. So, get these all out of here and see how they look. So I did end up getting 10 half pints. The recipe called for 9. Oh, I'm already starting to ping. Oh, I almost knocked that one over. Yeah, there's some already pinging and sealing. Okay, so there is all 10 of them. The tomatoes were all from our garden. The peppers were all from our garden. The onions were from our friend Emma's little whimsy garden. If you've seen one of the videos from the beginning, we talked about that. She had given us some little onions, so that's in there. And then some of the herbs were from our garden as well. So I actually didn't spend a dime to make this at all, because I already had some garlic, and the other spices that weren't from our garden I already had in the pantry. So 10 beautiful jars of garden salsa, and it was all from this book. So if you guys are into canning and haven't got a ball book, you need to. It's full of so much great information, great recipes. It gives you all the information that you need to start canning. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe if you like what we do. Now that it's getting towards the fall, I can start getting some more canning videos out. So if there's anything in particular you would like to see me can, just let me know in the comment section. And I'll talk to you guys later.